Tag. Very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's tag shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What up, what up, what up, what up, and what up, Tag Nation? It's your boy, the commish, ScooterRay, here with another hot tag. And boy, it's gonna be an epic one because we had 4 wrestling shows this weekend. We had NXT Great American Bash, AEW's Y'all In, Saturday night's main event, and WWE Evolution. Saturday alone, wrestling, if you don't count the pre-shows, wrestling was on from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. That is 7 straight hours of wrestling. And AEW's Y'all In overlapped NXT and almost the first hour of Saturday night's main event. So as of right now, it is the longest running wrestling pay-per-view ever. I think at almost 6 hours. It's like 5 hours and some change. How long Y'all In lasted? Yep, Y'all In. And you know, before I get started with the other festivities of this, you know, your boy retained his coveted Tag Predictions Championship, as you can see right there. Get a look, get a look, get a look. Not only did I retain the Technical Predictions Championship, I am now the Tag in the Bank Juggernaut. Just know I'm coming for you. And this, I don't plan on this going nowhere. But let's get on into it. Now, I'm kind of going to do the shows kind of in order of how it happened. So I'm going to start the day with NXT's Great American Bash. This was not a bad PLE whatsoever. You know, NXT usually delivers with their PLEs. And to me, this one was no different. Now, it did start off with a semi-kaiju battle. And the only reason why I say semi-kaiju battle, because yes, Javon Evans is tall, but compared to Jasper Troy, Javon Evans is thin. He's a thin man. And he was getting bullied and tossed around by Jasper Troy. Now, the thing is I have with Jasper Troy, I understand he won LFG season 1. You know, he came in just on fire, you know, attacking Oba. I want to say his second match was the championship match he had against Oba. His second or third match was against Oba. And he's still, of course, on the hunt for the NXT championship, but they put him in a weird position. And that weird position they put him in is the fact that, oh, we are joined by the one and only Lip Deasley.
Yeah. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into it later. But they put in Troy in a weird position because for somebody who such this, because he's bigger than Obafemi, and they put him in this weird position that, you know, his second or third match out the gate, it was a title shot. He lost that title shot. Now he's kind of just floating. And I don't like that. I don't like the aspect that you have this large human who could easily dominate is kind of floating about. Then not only that, him and Evans have a decent match, and for Evans to beat him by a roll up. And I was like, okay, this is what we're doing here. This is what we're doing. Okay, fine. Y'all have it. Dizzle, anything?
Yeah. Actually, quite a bit. First off, his presentation is all over the place because
Javon or Jasper?
no, Jasper.
Okay.
Primarily for one, his name. His name does not seem threatening at all. Now Troy does, but Jasper does not. And that is one of the issues. The second issue that they did wrong, or that they did entirely, is the fact that they had him go after Oba, which wouldn't necessarily have been the problem.
Mhm.
But you put him up here and make him seem this dominant, but then once you the moment that he's defeated, then you have him defeated again, and then again, and it's just like that's not how. And what they should have done, because ironically enough, his attire reminds me of Abyss sometimes. And they knew how to book Abyss. Abyss was a beatable monster, but they made you have to go through it, you know. Case in point with Abyss and AJ back in TNA. On paper, AJ shouldn't have been able to beat Abyss, but they made it work, especially and I'm saying it for this dynamic between Jasper and Javon Evans, because Javon Evans is the flippy guy. Now it's a bit different with Javon Evans because he is tall as shit.
And see, that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. I said this was a semi kaiju battle because Evans is tall, but he's thin.
And I'm not mad at the way that Javon Evans won. I believe that was the way to go as far as him winning.
A roll up instead of just a flat out.
Correct.
Okay.
But I don't think Javon Evans shouldn't have gone. He shouldn't have gone over during this match.
No.
You could have easily written him to lose and have him bounce back. No pun intended. But Jasper Troy, they need to redirect him and start giving him either squash matches or start doing something to actually build his reputation up back as a monster. Because if they don't, he is going to flounder and he's going to be forgotten very quickly.
And he will just be another big guy who's just there.
Yes, 100%.
And then we all know in WWE's case, at some point, if you're not serving a purpose,
they're gonna trim the fat real quick. But Javon does get the dub, and I guess we'll see come Tuesday where we move on, because they did announce late August, I think it was the 24th, NXT Heatwave, and yes, NXT Heatwave will be counter programming against AEW's Forbidden Door. Yes, I know. But yes, the next match of the night was for the NXT Women's North American Championship. You had Sol Ruka with Zarya in her corner, defending against the Cullings, Izzy Dane, with Tatum Paxley in her corner. And I'm going to say this, y'all. Per this match, and of course, per what we saw in the tag team match on Evolution, when this young lady gets called up, and this young lady being Sol Ruka, if they do not push her to the moon and really let her cook, missed opportunity. Oh, absolutely.
Such a missed opportunity. Sol Ruka is becoming a star. She is truly becoming a star. That's pretty much there. He's pretty much start and stop. Now, this match wasn't bad. It was predictable in knowing the fact that Izzy wasn't going to take that belt, because you could tell that they're now really starting to realize what they have in Soul.
Yeah.
And it would have been a shame to take the belt off of her right when, they're now starting to truly build her as the star she is.
Absolutely.
but it wasn't a bad match. And of course, you had shenanigans with Tatum because Tatum is really trying to, establish her a friend with Izzy. Then of course, Zarya eventually was like, all right, I ain't gonna keep letting you keep doing what you're doing. But Soul hits another pretty Soul snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Soul is the victor. Anything else, Diesel, you want to add?
I mean, predictable. One thing I was surprised about, because I wrote Izzy Dame off, but I was surprised at the offense that she was able to get off. So I was like, all right, cool. At least it wasn't a complete like nothing burger. They actually did allow her to showcase some of her skill, which I appreciate. So, but yeah, I mean, typical match. Right person went over. Obviously, Sol Ruka is easily marketable to be utilized on the main roster whenever she does get there. So you're right. There should be no issue with them pushing her, because it's a pre-packaged presentation where it's just press the button and just go ahead with it. You ain't got nothing else. So
I agree. I think one of the issues is that I think they want Izzy to be established as a dominant woman.
I saw that.
And I think the way she's being presented isn't helping.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. So, but other than that, there you go. Soul Ruka, Soul Snatcher, still the champ. This next match, when I tell you it threw me for a loop, I was literally thrown for a loop and a surprise. For the men's North American Championship, Falls Count Anywhere, you had All Ego Ethan Page defending against absolute Ricky Saints. And one of the things I was surprised about, there was interference, but not the interference we expected. So that's one thing. So if y'all didn't know, these two men have been just engaged in beef for the past couple of months. This was the culmination of said beef, and yeah, Falls Count Anywhere. They literally battled all over the arena. And where I said the interference come, for those who's been watching NXT, All Ego has been running with the Vanity Project, which we know those are Evolve's little top heel faction, consisting of Swipe Right, which is Ricky Smokes, Brad Baylor, and the Evolve champion Jackson Drake. I thought they was going to play a heavy hand in this match since they've been running with All Ego, but no. The interference came from Jasper Troy. And you're like, wait, what? While they was brawling backstage, Jasper just happens to be back there. And at one point, Ricky bumps into him. Jasper hits the black hole slam to Ricky on one of the little backstage carts. And that it didn't pretty much give Paige the W, but it kind of helped. And what ultimately gave Paige the W was he hit the Ego's Edge to Ricky. He threw Ricky off the stage into two tables, 1, 2, 3, and still, and it was like, oh shit, okay. So maybe Ricky is getting a call up sooner than later.
It would seem like it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't see, if you're not gonna put the North American Championship back on him, and I doubt that they're gonna have him just automatically jump to Oba, because it wouldn't make any sense at this point.
It really wouldn't.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem here too, because I assumed that Paige would have been the person that you would have thrown to the main roster at this point.
So too. I thought so too.
So it's like, what is it? Because I guess the main thing the main question would be, who is next for Oba, and is the person that's next for Oba meant to be the person that's going to take the title off of him? Because at this point, well, no, because I guess Josh Briggs and Inamura would be next, depending on what's going on with that storyline. But
so
we'll discuss it more in depth after we talk about the match, because I guess they're supposed to have a rematch.
Okay, so
but yeah.
So then with the situation with Paige and Starks, it seems as though Paige is about to have his full heel faction, which I think this may be where Jasper Troy comes into play. And getting him as the muscle to help, I guess, put him under somebody's wing and build him up.
You know what? That will probably help him out exponentially right now.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, that will probably do Jasper Troy mad favors, that if he's paired with somebody like that. Because funny enough, right? The way the build up to this match was happening, and especially the way Ava was being so just like over it, I honestly thought they was gonna have a loser leave NXT match.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, okay, well, Paige is gonna lose, boom, call up. But it may be vice versa. It may be the absolute one that's gonna end up getting called up, because if this is the end of the feud per se, where does technically Ricky go from here? Because like you said, he lost, and then why would he get shooed into the main title picture?
Correct.
Like, because then it'll be like, wait. Oh, so he can lose and get a title shot?
Now, this also could be bad news for Jasper, because I would assume that the next feud would be Starks and Jasper Troy after what has happened. But then that would mean that you would end up booking Jasper to lose to Starks, which would then add another loss to his record.
You know what? I think this is probably where they'll go the other way. They will probably have Troy beat Saints. So that way it can at least give oh shit, he beat somebody on the caliber of Saints, because like you said, he lost to Oba, he lost to Evans. He has to get some form of a get back.
True.
At least I hope to get some form of a get back. So I will assume his get back will be beating Ricky. So we'll see.
Yeah. All we can do is see. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we'll see how Tuesday is looking, because they got a solid month to build until Heat Wave. So we'll see what starts to come about some things. All right, the next segment we're saying we can kind of just speed through it. It was the contract signing for the TNA Championship that will be held at Slammiversary this Friday. The champ Trick Willie, Joe Hendry, and that boy Mike Santana. It was a pretty typical contract signing, them talking trash to each other. Eventually it got physical, where Santana and Hendry slammed Trick through a table, and then once Trick left, Dizzle's favorite faction just happens to show up to cause chaos. Them Dark State boys came in and beat up on Hendry and Santana, and then afterwards there was a segment between Trick Willie and Ava where Trick was like, "You seen that?" And then Ava was like, "Yeah, what's up with Dark State?" And he was like, "Oh no, you tell me." And eventually this coming Tuesday, it will be these three men versus three members of Dark State. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, as far as storyline purposes, I think that's a nice way to have them interact with each other.
Yes.
Which, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure the whole Dark State thing with Trick Williams might be the worst kept secret. If they are running it that way, which will then feed into this, and so I'm pretty sure Trick can easily just be like, "Well, you kept blaming me for it, so if you're gonna keep blaming me, I might as well make it happen." So,
right.
But I'm here for it.
The only way this would kind of ring bells is if they pull the ultimate swerve where it's like Santana or something. So that way they can still do the whole mixing of TNA, especially since Dark State has been, going to TNA. So it would be like an ultimate swerve if it was like Santana that was like, "Nah, Dark State, my folk."
That would be an interesting twist.
So that would be the only, because I can't see it being Joe Hendry, because that would be really like but maybe Santana be like, nah, Dark State my boys, type of energy. But we'll see come Slammiversary this weekend. I'm gonna have to try to find a way to watch Slammiversary so to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
All right, your next match for the NXT Men's Championship, you had Big Oba, the ruler, defending against Yoshiki and Amora. Kaiju battle. These men legitimately was going in there and beating the hell out of each other. And the one thing I appreciate about Oba Femi matches, especially when it's Oba Femi matches versus like big guys per se, is that they really go in there and fight. That is not a one-sided squash match type instance. It's like, nah, they really be in there fighting.
Yeah.
And I can always appreciate that. Because, I mean, if we being honest, we didn't think Inamura was going to really beat Oba.
Oh, absolutely not.
We didn't think Inamura was going to win. So it was like, hey, kind of like how it was with Miles Bourne at Battleground. We didn't think Miles was going to beat Oba, but hey, it's good to give a good showing. And that's essentially what this was. A good showing for Inamura.
Which is it's sad because even when Inamura came out, like this literally felt like a WCW Saturday night match.
It really did.
When he came out. Because I was just like, yeah, he feels like a jobber when he comes out. Like there was no spectacle when he's out, and his feud itself seemed off as well, because it seemed more like it was a Oba Femi and Josh Briggs feud than anything.
So I don't know if you saw the build up to what happened with this, of why this even became a thing. So how it became a thing was a few weeks ago, there was a 6-man tag. It was Briggs, Inamura, and Joe Hendry taking on Trick and First Class. Okay. Inamura pinned Trick Williams. He hit that frog splash he does, and he pinned Trick. So they was like, well, I figure that will net a title shot, and Inamura was like, nah, Briggs, I want you to take it. So that's what led to Briggs versus Trick for the TNA Championship. And Inamura was like, you become TNA champ, I become NXT champ. Well, of course, Briggs lost. And then what happened was when Inamura got in Oba's face, like, hey, I wanted to be your next opponent, that's when Jasper Troy came back. Inamura beats Troy, which I forgot to mention that. Inamura beat Troy for #1 contendership, and that's how we got here. So, yeah, it was just literally to give somebody over the fight for Great American Bash, if we're being honest. If we're being honest. So that's how we got here. Now, what Dizzle just said after the match, Oba was backstage and was like, hey, it sucks that the way the match played out. I didn't want it to do that because you did fight with honor, this and the third. And he was basically telling Inamura, I want to do this again. But then Briggs was like, how you going to take advantage? And then Oba was like, get your boy type of energy. So I don't know how it's gonna play out. Maybe Briggs might end up betraying Inamura because Inamura is being too honorable. I don't know. I don't know, but I can definitely see Heatwave over versus Josh Briggs. If they don't have nobody else, I can definitely see that for Heatwave.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to end up doing something, because Oba already feels like the unbeatable champion.
Yes.
Which is crazy because we've had those before. Obviously we had it in a Keith Lee to an extent. We definitely had it in a Karrion Kross. But it seemed like there were they found ways to book it correctly. With Oba Femi, something just seems like, you're not getting past him.
Yeah, because because even when Tony D'Angelo beat him, it was still kind of like, I guess. it was very much, I guess. I mean, I guess at least Tony D still had the stature per se to win. So it was like, okay, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, and I think that for me, that might be one of the reasons why when it's an Obafemi match, unless like you got all the bells and whistles, I usually just don't care. And that's nothing against him. It's really just like, when you book them into a corner, and with the way that the NXT roster is right now, it feels like that. It feels like there's nobody that's built up to take out Oba.
Especially like clean.
Yes.
Especially clean. Like I said, other than Tony D. But even with Tony D, he still had the family to an extent. So, but especially like a clean victory over Oba, it's gonna feel very like it might get a little shaky, but Oba's still your champion. Once again, we'll see what the build is for Heat Wave. And your main event for Great American Bash was a tag team match. You had Fatal Influences, Fallon Henley, and the NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane, taking on the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace, and the debuting, the Glamour, Blake Monroe.
I'm glad that they put this match last, because I think going off the air with that Obafemi match with Inamura would have caused a damper to an extent.
I can see that.
And it also helped kind of usher in what they were going to do for Evolution, because you win with the ladies here, and then it's like you segue into the next day with the women. So I thought that was a nice touch on how they did that. This was a solid match. I'm not gonna be mad at it, but I do appreciate at the same time, with it being a segue, with them ending here and then going into Evolution, what happened then at Evolution the next night, which actually catered to this. So, but I thought it was gonna be I thought this was gonna happen here.
So I figured it wasn't gonna happen here, and I was actually shocked that it happened at Evolution, to be honest with you. I thought it was gonna cook a little bit longer, and then if it wasn't for that segment we got at Evolution, that Jordan and Blake segment, that's why I was like, it's gonna happen there. It's gonna happen there, but I didn't think it was gonna happen so soon.
Yeah,
but I will say this: as of right now, Mariah May is definitely more dangerous than Blake Monroe.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because you can tell that they have to tone her down. You can tell that, he can't be as rough. Maybe they may find her that opponent that she could probably do that with at some point. But as of now, you could tell, Blake Monroe can't be Mariah May.
Oh, no. I think what they'll end up doing is they're going to keep it toned down probably until she goes to the main roster.
I can see that.
Just to give them something to work with. Because I guess this also goes to what we said a while ago when we talked about her going to NXT and how they kind of wrote her into a corner where there was nothing else that you could really do with her. So this actually helps with them giving her room to grow within the WWE system. And I think they're playing it smart, especially with the fact of actually, once we elaborate more into it, her actually becoming a heel here. And very quickly, I might add. So
very quickly. Now, the looming thing with this match was that we know JC was going to take on Jordan at Evolution, and the winner of that match will be taking on Masha Slamovich for a winner take all at TNA Slammiversary. So when Jasmine Nix was trying to interfere, Masha does come out to kind of even things out, and then it just left these four. Of course, Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe gets the upper hand, and they get the dub. And pretty much the show goes off the air with the Juggernaut and the Glamour on top. And, that was Bash at the Beach. Why do I keep calling this show Bash at the Beach? Literally, I keep calling it Bash at the Beach, but that was Great American Bash 2025. Like I said, it was a solid show. Nothing too crazy, nothing too mind-blowing. I think one of the issues is the fact that it was so much happening on WWE's end.
Yes.
So much. Like I said, that was the first of WWE's 3 events. And like I said earlier, wrestling started at 2 p.m. If you don't count pre-shows, and did not end to 9 p.m. That's a work shift, y'all.
So a lot of goddamn wrestling.
Now, speaking of a lot of goddamn wrestling, as we switch gears, we gonna talk about that AEW Y'all In Texas.
Yeah.
Good old Y'all In. And before we get into it, Dizzle, what was your overall thoughts on All In?
I was pleasantly surprised for one.
Okay.
I felt like the show was actually pretty well paced. Now, of course, I came into it late because I didn't realize they were starting at the same time.
Okay.
Great American Bash. So I came in I think during the tag match.
Swerve.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I can.
The Hurt Syndicate, but
okay, that match. Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because all I missed was I missed the Ops. I missed the trios match. I missed the Battle Royal
Casino
for the
Gauntlet.
men's. Yeah, and I think
What
that
about
was it.
no,
the 4-way.
and then you also had Swerve and Ospreay.
Oh no, I came in during that match. That's what it was.
Okay.
Came in during that match.
So you missed the first 3. Well,
yeah.
Let's get into it. So your first match was for the AEW Trios Championships. You had the team of the Ops, which is Samoa Joe, Willie Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata, taking on the Death Riders and their hired assassins, Claudio Wheeler and Gabe Kidd. This was a pretty standard match. I mean, the only reason for this match was to build up kind of what was happening later, because we all know the main event was the Texas Death Match. So this match, literally, the Ops gets the dub, and from that, they did a post-match beatdown
on Joe.
Of the Ops, and then mainly Joe. Like, they even did the chair on the neck, bow, all that stuff. So Joe was pretty much taken care of. Joe was pretty much out of it, and we didn't even see Hobbs nor Shibata. That was it. Joe was dispatched, and yeah. But other than that, everything was a build up to the combination to the main event. So that was pretty much that match. It wasn't necessarily forgettable, because I don't want to make it sound like that. But you know, if it wasn't for the fact that they was doing the storytelling of with the whole Death Riders thing as a whole, this could have been on Dynamite easily.
I could see that, but at the same time, for story purposes, obviously that's why this was on there, which I'm glad that they did. And then 2, one, it's the whole thing with the Ops for sure, because they are building up that faction, which I'm glad that they are. And Joe has been, at this point, I would say Joe has probably been, because I think there may be like probably like 5 guys on the roster that they book perfectly, and Joe is one of those guys that they just book absolutely flawlessly. You know,
I can agree.
And it's a testament, especially to this story here, when you get into the whole thing of them taking him out, because Death Riders view him as a legit threat.
Yes.
And that's just fantastic. So kudos to them for pulling this off here. But I'm mad, and this is just a small tangent. I'm mad with how they took the Death Riders storyline and they made it shit. As far as like the whole sandwich, they had the first piece of bread, which was nice. They toasted it nicely with the whole Brian Danielson stuff, and that setup was good. Then you get into, you know, putting the meat and the lettuce and tomatoes and shit on there, and all that shit's all old, moldy, wilted, whatever. And then you have this other nice piece of toasted bread to culminate the sandwich, and it's like, it looks good on the outside because that bread looks perfect, but when you look inside the fucking sandwich, it's shit. But the way that they handled this, I was just like, y'all couldn't have this same energy throughout the past fucking year. It's crazy. But
something. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I doubt if it ever comes out, but something had to change. Something caused them to pivot, and it wasn't a good pivot because Dizzle just said, it wasn't the best of pivots, because you essentially have this group of individuals who wants to take over the company. You at first had these individuals, the AEW roster, fight back as a collective. After Orange Cassidy lost, it was like, well, I guess we just let them take over. Then you had the Young Bucks who aligned with them and didn't align with them, and then it was like, what is happening here with all of this? And yeah, like Dizzle said, it was a nice looking sandwich from presentation, until when you start to really look at the sandwich, you like, damn, other than the bread, this sandwich look trash. But like I said, Ops gets the dub. Samoa Joe gets a post-match beatdown, and yeah, that was pretty much the Ops for the rest of the night. Your next match was the men's casino gauntlet for a shot at the AEW championship. As you can see on the screen, Mark Briscoe had the number 1 spot, MJF had the number 2 spot, and I'm going to round it off. Ricochet was 3, Bandito was 4, Takeshita was next, Mystico, Josh Alexander, Anthony Bowens, Roddy Strong, Brody King, the returning Juice Robinson, Kota Ibushi, the Beast Mortos, and Max Caster. That was your lineup for that gauntlet. Were there supposed to be any more people? We don't know, because MJF did eventually pin somebody and got the dub.
Okay, so this is what pisses me off.
What you got
with this shit? Because for one, the rules don't make. I mean, they make sense to somebody, because they hit the green light on it.
Yeah.
It seems pointless to have a full roster of people in a gauntlet match, and then you not have all of them being able to participate based on the rules of the match.
Oh, and for what Dizzle is saying, the way AEW does these casino gauntlets for men and women, 2 people start off. We don't know how many people are in these gauntlet matches, but the first pinfall or submission wins. So if it was just MJF just beat Mark Briscoe, then we would have never saw the rest of these people. So yes, whoever gets the first pin overall wins. And it's like, okay, cool. But go ahead, Dizzle.
But yeah, man, it's one of those situations where you look at it and it's like, one, it's bad for the roster, because you got a lot of people that won't get TV time, and of course this is pretty much like their WrestleMania, and you have a lot of people wanting to get on the card. And if this is your chance to be in this match and you're one of the later numbers and you don't get a chance to go out there, you've been booked for no fucking reason at all.
Like, you literally just showed up to Texas just to hang out.
Yeah, your image on something, because case in point, this image right here, it only has Mystico, MJF, and Mark Briscoe.
Yep.
You know they're probably gonna get time in the ring, but other than that,
it was funny because Mystico wasn't until like 6.
And you see, this is fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, MJF is the right person. I mean, especially what they're doing with the Hurt Syndicate. So,
so as y'all heard me mention as well, I did say Juice Robinson is back. So upon that, Ricochet has been running now with the Gates of Agony. You know, Toa Longa and Toa. What was his name? Toa, whatever. The Gates of Agony. Shit. Kong and the other one. Kong and Loa. So when they was out there causing havoc, the other two members of the Bang Bang Gang, you know, the Guns, did come out to help Juice Robinson, and they did announce that that those three are back together. They had a little segment that they're back together, and Juice was like, "Yeah, now we need to start winning championships. You know, it's cool that the Bang Bang Gang is back together, but we need to start winning championships." So the Bang Bang Gang has gold now. I mean, the Bang Bang Gang has a goal, which is gold.
Yes.
So there you go with those gentlemen. But yeah, like we said, MJF gets the dub, and pretty much that's how the match ended. Like I said, I forgot the end, but yes, MJF gets the W. Now, prior, this was the original match. We were supposed to get Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. We heard that was no longer going to happen because Cole was unable to wrestle. He wasn't medically cleared. So he comes out there, he gives a very tearful speech, and pretty much from what the suspicions are saying, Cole may be concussion prone. Kind of like what Christian suffered when Christian had to retire. Yeah. So Cole was basically saying he's not thinking about retirement, but if this is his last hurrah, you know, he was very tearful. You know, the crowd was pretty much in the same way, you know. And then it's one thing to always give these tearful speeches, but it's something about when the speeches happen and then your boys come out. Because then O'Reilly and Strong come out, and it was like, no, don't come out. Cause then you're really stamping it, and, you know. But Cole was tearful, you know. One last time for the time being, you know, the crowd did the Adam Cole baby, and unfortunately the match was off. But this match took its place. So for the vacant TNT Championship, we have a fatal four-way: Daniel Garcia versus Dustin Rhodes versus Kyle Fletcher versus Sammy Guevara in a fatal four-way. What you got, Dizzle? Oh no, I forgot. You said you didn't see it.
Yeah. Now, well, I do have thoughts on it though.
Okay, what you got?
I'm not mad, but I'm mad.
Okay.
Because for one, I thought they were going to give it to Kyle Fletcher.
I think everybody did.
Which now begs the question here: if you put it on Dustin, then was Cole supposed to be the person that went over?
I know, right?
Because it doesn't make any sense for that to happen. Now, I'm not mad that Dustin got the championship. I think that this is another person who is part of that handful of people that they booked perfectly.
Yes,
they have found a way to slot Dustin's old ass, and I'm only saying old ass, not in a derogatory sense like I would do for Oldberg. I'm saying it because he is the oldest person on the roster, obviously.
He calls himself old at this point.
And at the same time, he also keeps up. He definitely keeps up because he is. I mean, they're not putting titles on him just for the sake of putting titles on him. They're putting titles on him because he's actually setting the standard. And I appreciate what they're doing for him. Now, I would assume that this would be his last hurrah for sure. Because you know, he's the one person on the roster that has the most belts.
Well, he has the most belts.
Oh, sorry, forgot
that are tied to AEW.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes. Because if you can't see, he is ROH Tag Team Champion with Sammy Guevara, and he's ROH 6-man champion with the Von Erichs, and now TNT champion.
Correct. Which again is perfectly fine. I'm not mad at it. I feel like if they're going to reignite the flame that this title once had, he would be the one person to do it, because one, he cuts one hell of a promo. Yes. He commands TV time whenever he's on screen. And there's just something about his demeanor and his aura when he comes out there, that's just like, this motherfucker ain't playing.
Yes, facts.
So
Facts.
if it was meant to be put on Kyle Fletcher and they decided to call an audible, then I'm happy, because this is going to be the person that, one, is going to elevate Kyle Fletcher as a heel.
Yeah.
And then two, during that time, he's going to build the title up. So that way, the moment that Kyle Fletcher actually takes it, he's not going to have to do the heavy lifting trying to rebuild the foundation for this title, which is fine.
And you know, I should have known when I heard that Takeshita didn't win the ROH championship from Bandito. I should have known that obviously this ain't gonna be Uncle Callus's family night or weekend.
I thought it was
too. But like we said, Dustin gets it. Now this is the part where we really do thoughts and prayers. Well, wishes get well soon to Adam Cole. I mean, if you don't know Adam Cole's resume, please do some research. The man is that guy. His work from NXT, his work in New Japan. You know, it sucks that he hasn't been able to truly showcase like that while being in AEW, but Adam Cole, baby, like for real. Now the next match had some big money stakes. It's a tag team match. The team of Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, with the EVP titles on the line. And if Swerve and Ospreay lose, they can't challenge for the world championship for a year.
Yeah.
Not because of, you know, predictions was on the line. I still think the wrong decision was made.
Oh, absolutely.
I still think the Bucks should have won this. I don't get me wrong. I love the pageantry of Ospreay's Assassin's Creed Shadows entrance. JoJo Offerman singing Shaka Khan's Ain't Nobody for Swerve.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had JoJo sung Ain't Nobody. Then of course it swung to his song with Flash Garments. Young Bucks entrance was way too fucking long, but it's fine. But this was a great match. Like, I enjoyed this tag team match. I really think the wrong team won.
I agree.
And only reason why I'm saying this, because it makes sense to still have the Bucks as heel EVPs.
Mm-hmm.
But from the way AEW goes, if Swerve and Ospreay have to wait a year to challenge again, considering the landscape of AEW, it still makes sense. It still makes sense. Whether they had to wait a year or whatever, it still makes sense. But I still think the Bucks should have came out on top on this one.
Yeah. Because it
is a tricky one. It is tricky.
It is because then it's like then what do you do after the events of the main event?
True.
But at this,
I mean, the Bucks got involved too.
True. But the thing is, because here's the thing, the only real step, you know, outside of them losing power would be the fact that, you know, okay, Ospreay and Swerve get to still compete for the world title if they want. They did. I thought they would have had this step where it's like, okay, well, they possibly get power in some regard or whatever, which would then add some type of entertaining value to like the shows, you know, but they didn't go that route, which is crazy. So it's like, okay, so now everything is just business as usual at this point, because I thought it would have been a nice storyline thing to basically have them not be able to compete for the world title, because I thought it's like, okay, this is how you book these two without having to just automatically keep them at the top of the card, because now you can use them to build up the other titles. But you know, they didn't do that. So this is I'm like, okay, well, so what happens now? You know, so that's my only.
I agree. But now I will say this: Swerve and Ospreay hit their version of the EVP trigger which was the house call and a hidden blade at the same time, and it was like, damn, I don't think you're getting up from that one, big dog. Like, I don't think you getting up from that one. But yeah, Swerve and Ospreay win, and like Dizzle said, I wish they would be the EVPs rather than, you know, nothing. But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see. And the next match was the women's casino gauntlet. And we knew Statlander was number 1. And we knew Megan Bang was number 2. The rest of the participants, you had Willow, Ty Mello, Tekla, Julia Hart, Queen Aminata, Mina Shirakawa, Athena, Thunder Rosa, Shuri, and Alex Windsor. Now, the winner of this match made sense if the other match would have went the other way.
True.
But who are we? We're just fans that try to predict these things in fantasy book. But ultimately, Athena gets the dub, and of course, when she comes out, the crowd goes crazy, of course, because I mean she's pretty much home. And it's kind of like what Dizzle said earlier. I don't know how many more participants were supposed to be in this match, because once again, first pinfall wins. Athena hit the O face on somebody. I can't remember who she hit it on, but like I said, 1, 2, 3, Athena is your number 1 contender. And the one thing I hate, because it kind of happened in this one too, I hate the fact that you had Penelope Ford with Megan Bang. Why wasn't she in the match? You had Sky Blue with Julia Hart. Why wasn't she in the match? Hell, you kind of had Billy Starks with Athena.
Yeah, Anna Jay out there too.
And Anna Jay, why weren't they in the match? Instead of them just running interference and all of that.
And you know what? In the match. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense for that because it's like, okay, so all of you women are able to have a potential shot at the women's world championship. Yeah. And you're just okay with not being in the match? Like you're just not okay. Yeah. Now I can see about Harley Cameron because you know she's still dealing with the injury. True. But I can see about her popping up the way she did. But literally, Anna Jay, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Billy Stark, throw them in the match. They all got physical in the match. Throw them in the match. They all got physical during this. Like it's like, okay, so put them in the match then.
Just put them in the match.
Now, I will say that this match was the start for the entire weekend when it comes to the women for me, because this match was booked very nicely. I thought all the women, like went there and they performed their asses off. And this kind of set the standard. Like nothing against NXT, like they did fine, but it's like this is what really set the standard. And I'm pretty sure everything was basically due to the catalyst that is Evolution, because for some odd reason, it's like all the women in both AEW and on WWE television wanted to steal the show, and it felt like it. So. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
You want to let the Tag Nation out there know that who you had the newfound love for while watching this match?
Well, I mean, it's still tentative. It's still tentative.
Okay.
But Tekla,
the Toxic Spider,
Tekla might get on my list, man, because her presentation is nice. I like her energy. Okay, and she's just so. It seems off the wall because you said you think she's like cheesy,
a little cheesy, yes, a little bit, because I've been watching her ever since she debuted, and I was just like, it's a little cheesy, but I get it. I do get it. I'm not one of those. I get it, people. I get it.
But now this is the thing, because she has a type of energy that you can actually build around, because it seems like. It's like the same thing with what's her face, but she didn't necessarily really have it. Damn it! Why can't I think Abaddon? Okay, because it seems like
I can see that. I can see that.
Abaddon just seemed like too much.
Yeah.
It seemed like too much of the wrong thing. Because like I get what they were trying to do with her presentation, but it was more. Here's what Abaddon reminds me of. That phase that Goldust went through whenever he just kept changing up his gear.
Yeah.
When he did the dominatrix stuff, the blackface stuff, when he was with Luna.
Yeah, and it was
that's
just
what,
like
that's what Abaddon reminded me of. It was like it just seems like they're directionless. Like it seems like you're just doing stuff to do stuff.
But then too, it don't help you doing all of that and then you lose. Yeah,
correct. Now with Tekla, she seems like somebody like if you took a created character on any wrestling game and you had somebody that took the time to like make like the perfect customized character. They set their moveset perfectly. They set the entrance and everything just on point. It's just like the presentation is there. Now I do want to see more of her in the ring because again, her energy's there, but I still want to see if she has like what it takes to be like at the top where the face is on.
Yeah,
she looks the part. But yeah, I just want to see more. So that's why it's tentative. But she might be there. Okay. She might be there.
So now they didn't announce when Athena gets her title shot, but she does. Well, Athena and MJF, they both get title shots, and they didn't announce when. I don't know if it's a situation where they can call a title shot themselves. Or,
I believe it is because isn't it the
same
with Christian? Because when he had that clipboard that whole time, and he just kind
of that's right. Because technically, Kill Switch, aka Luchasaurus, had won it, so I guess they can call it whenever they want. I guess. So, but yeah, we'll see these ladies and gentlemen,
and it's for any title, right?
No, they said world championship.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's locked to that. Our next match of the evening was for the AEW Tag Team Championships. You had the Hurt Syndicate, of course, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley defending against Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and the Patriarchy of Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. The Hurt Syndicate had MVP, Smoke DZA, and Westside Gunn wrap out the theme to the Hurt Syndicate. You know, we hurt people. This was a pretty standard match.
Yeah,
I think so. I think what both companies need to do when it comes to these multi-team tag team match, they need to decide whether it's going to be just a representative of each team in the ring or the whole just two people start off and anybody can tag thing, because it gets confusing on which rules are what.
Yeah.
Because especially in matches like this, because this was set as only two members. But when it divulges into chaos, then it's like, well why? You know, well, why?
And you lose track of who the legal man is, and that's one of the main things too.
But due to things, the Hurt Syndicate retains.
Yes.
The Hurt Syndicate retains. Now, it was the post-match that was the interesting part. Nick Wayne showed his hand, and him, Mama Wayne, and I literally just forgot his name just that fast.
Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian betrays Christian. They start beating down Christian, and they about to hit him with the concerto, and one of the funniest things happened. The music of Adam Copeland hits, and this motherfucker starts pandering to the crowd. They could have smashed Christian's face into oblivion, but no, it was the typical, the music hits, now we paralyzed in fear.
Yeah.
But Copeland's music hits, he comes out, goes side to side, pandering to the crowd. Now he does have Spike in his hand. Then he comes out there, saves Christian, and then he stands Christian up, and he said, "Hey Christian, go find yourself," and then leaves. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I actually appreciated that last tidbit. Like, I mean, yes. Pandering aside,
yes,
for the sake of the story, because I mean, with, you know, it's like we hate each other, but you know, you're still my best friend. You're still my brother. You know, you're gonna piss me off, but at the same time, I'm gonna have your back. And then for him to be like, go find yourself, being like, yeah, you're lost, homie. It's like you like, I get it. You know, you're pissed off at shit, but you know, this ain't you. So, you know, when you go find yourself, I'm gonna be here, and then we can handle shit together. So I think that's really good. For how they're going to handle this, because obviously Adam Copeland is going to be back, and I'm pretty sure Christian is going to be off TV, and then he's going to come save Copeland at some point.
And it wouldn't surprise me if that's probably the next tag team champions.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to take time to build this, because what I think is going to happen, now again, this could be another worst kept secret. But MJF clearly at this point, from my perspective, working with FTR and that motherfucker of motherfuckers.
Hey, we don't talk about Big Stoke.
You see, the fact that I said, and you knew who I was talking about.
Well, you said FTR. FTR has only been running with Big Stoke. Now, don't forget. Now, for those who wants to hearken in AEW's past, MJF did have the Pinnacle, and FTR was in said group.
And it just so happens that they happen to be with one of MJF's guys,
which was Big Stoke.
Yeah, which is again, it's crazy. It's funny for casual people that's watching it to not understand like the connection with these threads here, because there's also the connection with MJF and MVP, which also works story-wise when it comes to the Hurt Syndicate. But you know, he's utilizing them to make sure that he gets himself positioned back into the main event scene.
I can see FTR becoming the tag team champions because of that.
Exactly.
And then Cope and Christian get those belts off of FTR.
Yep.
That makes more sense, because you're right. MJF does what MJF does. Weed his way into things, and then you know he eventually betrays, and then of course that's gonna look Benjamin and Lashley like, we didn't want this motherfucker in here in the first place. You know, we was trusting UP. You know, so I can see that.
And that's also another tidbit that I don't think anybody will. And correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe when it came to the Pinnacle, nobody really had any. There wasn't really a fallout outside of MJF and Wardlow.
That was it, because I think, didn't one of the members of FTR get hurt?
I think so.
And then it just kind of dissolved.
Correct. So
it just kind of dissolved. Like I said, other than MJF and Wardlow, FTR and who was the fifth member?
Sean Spears.
Yeah, and we all know what Spears is at now. But,
because matter of fact, it was just Sean Spears and FTR that were kind of just doing their thing.
Yeah.
So FTR is like the only people that MJF has not turned on or crossed. So
and then even when that new faction was kind of starting, it never really got off the ground when it was supposed to be Stokely, Big Bill, you know. So that never really took off. So yeah, you're right.
Okay. So right, we might have something in the win.
Yeah,
with that, which is actually good. Which it pans out for stuff later on down the line, because you're not going to take the belts off the Earth Syndicate like right now. So that helps build that part up, because I'm pretty sure they might end up waiting for Max to get the title off of Hangman.
You think they're gonna hold on to the championships that much longer?
Well, because I think the plan is to make sure that once if this is the plan, once they get everything established, the plan would be to make sure that faction has gold across the board.
So let me ask you this: do you think? Well, I mean, if you already know, you know. Do you think Hangman has the belt for the rest of the year?
Let's see. We're in July.
I mean, we got Forbidden Door, we have All Out, we have Wrestle Dream, World's End.
I can see it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I can see it because they're gonna want to make sure after the whole stink that they had with the Death Riders, that one they're gonna have to have that belt on a babyface.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure we're more than likely gonna get just regular like honorable matches. I don't think we're gonna get any blood feuds. I'm pretty sure we might get we might get Hangman and Darby. We might get Hangman and either Ospreay or Swerve. I think they'll hold off on the Swerve and Hangman stuff for now. But I can see, just regular matchups at this point, and then maybe a pissed off individual here or there for Hangman up until they get to a situation where the Hurt Syndicate, because again they can always call an audible if they need to.
Yeah.
So, but with the Hurt Syndicate, because I don't see anybody that can really take those belts off of them right now, other than FTR, and they already had their stare down at the end of the match.
True.
So
that is true. That is true. So all right, well, we'll see. All right, your next one. This started the triple main event for the AEW Women's Championship. Timeless Toni Storm defending her belt against the women's Owen Hart tournament winner, Mercedes Moné, aka 6-belt Moné. Both of these ladies had some pretty grand entrances, especially Mercedes. I loved hers. And Mercedes, let me rewind. Storm, when she has these big money pay-per-view matches, they always come through.
Yes.
And for those who have heard me talk on this channel before, y'all know how much I have sung the praises of Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks. I still think she is still one of the best. Usually the women have their best matches against her, and this one was no different. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we booked differently.
Yes.
But this one was no different. These two ladies went out there and had them a nice little match. It was a great start. Now, kind of like what Dizzle said, if you're taking the tag team match with Fatal Influence, Jordan and Blake, if you take the women's Casino, and if you take this match, women's wrestling this weekend, who boy?
Yes.
Who boy? But all right, Dizzle, go ahead and let them know what you thought.
Well, speaking of entrances, Tony's entrance had me thinking that she was about to lose this title.
Yeah.
Now I'm after thinking about it, because there was no way that I could have like predicted this without having just like a pit in my stomach as far as like booking wise, because it's like you go one way with Mercedes and it's just like, okay, you put all the belts on her, what do you do with Tony? It's like you have Tony win. It's like, so then what happens with Mercedes? Is she gonna continue to be dominant, or is she gonna start losing titles? And then I thought about it. This works for Tony. She was the right person to go over. Now, when it comes to the whole thing with Athena, Mercedes and Tony are gonna run this back.
Oh,
and Mercedes is gonna get that belt off of Toni Storm, because you're gonna get the match with Athena and Mercedes.
Okay.
I don't see Athena being the person to take that title off of Toni Storm without it actually putting, like I said, a pit in somebody's stomach, because it just it doesn't work that way. You want to build Mercedes up even more as just this heel of heels, because Athena would be the person that's going to take that title off of Mercedes to become AEW Women's Champion. Because it's going to be her reward for what she's been doing over on ROH.
Yes.
Because so when it comes to Mercedes, I don't see her having an extensively long title reign when it comes to the AEW Women's Championship, because she like, say what you want about Mercedes, whether you hate her booking or whatever, she's still putting in work.
Yes.
It's not a situation where it's like she got all these titles and she's doing nothing with them. She's going to Japan, she's going to the UK, she's doing
going
what
to Mexico.
So she's nonstop and she's doing what what she has been doing for the longest, just on 10 right now. So reward her with the AEW Women's Championship, allow her to get a few more matches in and do whatever, and then Athena comes in after you start to put her on AEW television more and not just on ROH, and you help build up a new baby face in the women's division. So
now there was a part in this match where I just knew Mercedes was gonna get the dub, because Toni Storm hit 3 consecutive Storm zeros.
Oh yeah, and that scared me for a second, because I'm looking at Mercedes like, damn, you dropping on her head like y'all because she wasn't wasting any time when she did it.
No, she did them quickly. Like she picked up. 3 consecutive Storm zeros and Mercedes kicked out. I was like, oh yeah, Mercedes got this now. But then no, Toni eventually hit an avalanche Storm zero from the top rope, middle rope, and 1, 2, 3. She gets the dub. But I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, good match.
Very good match.
Like I said, we'll see if what Dizzle is saying is that will Mercedes and Toni running back? Mercedes gets it. Now, see, the thing is that I guess if we're going off of what Christian Cage had, then if Mercedes gets it, then it must mean Mercedes may hold on to it for just a little smidge before, because I'm going to assume Athena is going to lose the belt before she challenges Mercedes or Toni, whoever is the champion at the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that I don't know who's going to be the woman to finally dethrone the forever champ, but I'm going to assume.
Well, shit, it could be Mercedes.
Shit, at this point.
Because
what? At this point.
Yeah. How do you, because here's the thing. And now again, tinfoil hat fantasy booking here.
Yeah.
If the best way to get Athena on AEW television is to have her feud with Mercedes for the ROH Women's Championship, have her beat Athena, and now you have Athena on AEW television, and so it's now fueling Mercedes to get back into the swing of things, because now she got some gold to cushion the blow that she just took, and then now she goes back to go after Toni, and you still have people hating her because now she's got another belt on her, but now she's trying to go for all the gold in the umbrella of AEW. Because the best thing to do at this point, if you take, because Mercedes just took this loss, her only loss on AEW, you take her from AEW, put her on ROH, and you start having her try to collect the ROH women's belts across the board. So then she comes back, challenges Toni Storm, because that's the only belt that she doesn't have at this point.
I can see that at this point.
So
I can see it. Book it. All right.
And there we go.
Your next match for the Unified Championship, you had the Continental Champion of Kazuchika Okada and the International Champion of Kenny Omega. Winner takes all. Dizzle, before we get into it, I don't know how you feel overall, but the absolute wrong person won.
I'm gonna disagree.
Okay, that's fine.
Because go ahead.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because unless Kenny O is in the position of, because of his diverticulitis, he probably can't. Then I'm 100 with it. But the way this was going, it's like this was all for Kenny O to win. But of course, we had Uncle Callus. But this was all set up for Kenny O to take this for me. Like, there's nothing you could have told me that Okada was gonna win this match.
Oh, absolutely. And so I agree with the sentiment that Kenny should have went over because of the fact that it's just like, well, damn, how many times is Uncle Callis going to keep getting over on Omega? That part I absolutely agree with.
Yes.
I was also getting tired of Okada with the Continental Championship,
especially since the Young Bucks lost.
Yeah. But with at this point this solidification of Okada with the Callis family, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Primarily because if you're going to do more stuff with the Callis family, it's going to be meant to build somebody up.
Takesha.
Yeah, exactly. So you already have Kyle Fletcher, who has been helped immensely after he's joined the Don Callis family. And now you have a Japanese superstar in Okada, who at this point is going to overshadow Takeshita, because now Callis had the up and comer in Takeshita, but now he's got big money with Okada because he's got the big Japanese name. So I would assume, in storyline purposes, that's going to overshadow Takeshita, because now it's like Don Callis has a more expensive toy over what he had with Takeshita.
I don't know how much you was watching weekly.
I just got back into watching.
Okay, so once the partnership formed, I can't remember if it was on Dynamite or it was on Collision. And now that you said that, you now have swayed my mind now. On Dynamite or Collision, there was a segment with the Callis family, and then Okada was there, and then when the segment ended, Takesha walked up to Okada and said, "Don't forget, this is temporary." So now that you're saying all of this, it kind of lends credence now to where it's like, okay, I can kind of rock with what you're saying now.
Yeah,
because of that.
Which at the same time as well, because you still have that story with Kenny and Takeshita.
Yes.
So if you're building the Don Callis family in this particular direction, it's like you already have Omega and Ibushi. It's like if Takeshita turns and he becomes a babyface, so then you already have the relationship that he's already had with Kenny. So it's an easy transition to have them, foes, from friends to foes, back to friends again.
Yeah.
Against the Don Callis family. So yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I can definitely see that now. I can definitely, with you swinging the storyline that way to where it's like, hey, Takesha, you cool and all, but look at who I have. I got the unified, like you couldn't even get the ROH championship off of Bandito. So, so I can see that. Now, according to from what I heard with the press conference, apparently Tony Khan announced, due to Don Callis's underhandedness, that anytime Okada defends a belt, everything will be defended under Continental rules, where there be nobody ringside, that nobody can interfere, because he kind of reprimanded Uncle Callis at the press conference.
Okay.
But since he was like, well, since we didn't necessarily put true rules on it, that's the only reason why Uncle Callis was able to do all that damn interfering he did.
Yeah.
But he did say going forward, it's going to be under the Continental rules.
Well, at least there's that. So, but and I think the being able to carry all the belts is really just probably for aesthetic purposes, because it is fucking sense. Like, Tony really out here fantasy booking with all these damn create a player championships, man.
He really is 1000%. But hey, we're here. All right. All right, Dizzle. It's time for the main event of Y'all In. As John Moxley kept saying, Texas death for the AEW World Championship. John Moxley defending against Hangman Adam Page. And boy,
yeah, this
Violence be understatements when it comes to this damn company.
This shit was on go from the fucking start.
From the start. From the start.
Holy shit, man. They
like, geez.
And now, so in hindsight, it makes more sense now.
Yes.
Based on how overly booked they had this shit.
Yes.
So I get it. I get it. But it was like you just didn't give anybody time to just breathe for us. So you just went in. Like Mox started bleeding maybe like the first 30 seconds in the fucking match.
Yeah, and in case y'all wondered how Mox started to bleed, Hangman had him in like a triangle choke and started just blasting him with a fork. And Ashley and I were just screaming at the TV. Like, no, fuck no. Fuck no. But yeah, like they went out there, went on go, and they did not let up until the end.
Yes.
Now, per this match, of course, we knew Marina was going to interfere.
Mm-hmm.
The Death Riders did come out. The Bucks came out. There was a man in a blue mask who came out, who hit a Busaiku knee, and it turned out to be, oh shit, that was Bryan Danielson. You know, oh shit, Bryan Danielson. And then, you know, the last piece of the puzzle, Swerve. You know, he came out there, gave Hangman the chain, and that was Moxley's undoing in the end.
Yeah.
But there was a bed of nails, there was glass, there was forks, there was a lot of biting. There was a lot of violence in this match.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And my fucking prophecy was shot to shit. He showed up. Darby Allin shows up. But no, Darby Allin shows up to help the good guys. No, Darby, you were supposed to win the goddamn casino gauntlet. But it's fine. Fine. I'm okay.
Everything made, and this is the reason why I picked Hangman to win, because, and I almost went with Mox because I was mad about how they were booking the Hangman and Swerve stuff.
Yeah,
because I had talked about it like shows ago, but they found a way to kind of reel me back in because I thought they were pulling the trigger on it way too quickly, but they actually played it off nicely to where they, even though they had them interact, it was still like Swerve being steadfast on being like, I can't, whatever. Like, well, I'll talk nicely with you, but it's like, I'm only going to do so much. And the way, whenever they got to the culmination of that, when everything was just the writers going crazy with everything, because then you had the whole, you had the, let's see, did you have the Darby video first, or did you have no, it was, I think it was Darby video, then Danielson.
Yeah, Darby, yeah. So I know on Collision on Thursday there was a segment with Swerve and Hangman that they had a sit down that I didn't get a chance to hear. And I'm assuming that sit down must have, I guess, hey, we're gonna play nice type of situation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which again still worked perfectly when you go back to the whole ops situation with them taking out Joe, because it was like, well, they've been the people that's been helping him consistently. Like that's his ride or die right now. So we take them out, he got nobody. Okay, cool. Then you have the Darby video. Then you have Danielson come out, help them out. Darby and him fight off the and then Ospreay tried to come out and help. So they end up getting rid of Ospreay. They hurt Ospreay. He out. Then you have them fight off the rest of the ops. And so now it's just Mox, Marina Shafir, Hangman. And then to have the whole situation, which I feel like this was a real nice little icing on the cake situation when Marina Shafir went to go get the briefcase, and then to have Prince Nana handcuff her to be like oh shit, is Swerve about to come out? and then to have Swerve come out, and then it was just like, bro, that's perfect. That's perfect.
It was.
So I'm because my thing was, it's like, if Hangman loses, you're really gonna deflate the balloon here, and it's like, it's gonna be hard to reel people back in. Even if Darby would be the person to dethrone Mox, it's just like, you have so much built up right here. There's no way. Let us
not act like WrestleMania 40. That balloon got deflated.
Oh.
Was it 40? Wait, was it 40 or 39? Whatever which one where Roman beat Cody, and it was like, oh no.
So you had everything up to that point. Like, now granted, they found a way to kind of bring it back slightly, which that was more to Dwayne interference, where because had he not overshadowed Cody and the fans not get behind Cody, then we may not have gotten that. True. But that just happened to be a case-by-case situation where I believe the fans were the ones that actually saved that, because to have everything leading into the whole finish the story situation and then have him lose, it's just like, man, you really have to have faith in your storytelling if that was the plan all along to eventually have Cody go over. But but this shit here, to have the ops inject some more life into the storyline with the whole Death Rider situation, to use the storyline between Hangman and Swerve, have the whole thing with Ospreay come in, where you have all these heavy hitters at this point versus the Death Riders going up against all the guys in catering in the company. It's just like, this felt more like a dire situation, like a must-win situation, versus how it was before, where you just had a bunch of random people going up against the Death Riders, and then you just had the locker room halfway clearing out, and everybody just kind of getting their ass beat. So this it made sense, and then to have Hangman just burst into fucking tears once he got the title out, like, that shit was like,
now for those who saw, the title still had Danielson's plates on it.
Exactly. now that part was still good storytelling as well, because it was a visual reminder, like, damn, that shit has really been in there that long. Like, they've never taken it out to even look at it.
Nope. Mox got that title, put it in that briefcase, and dipped.
Yeah. Which kind of pisses me off, because we still never really got a full explanation as to what the fuck he was trying to do.
Yeah. Like I said, somewhere down the line, something happened with the storyline, and like, I know what Ashley told me before, that one of Mox's original promos kind of leaned towards I think it was American History X or a different movie, where it was very neo-Nazi sounding. And then of course it didn't help that he was about to get ready to go against Swerve. So they had to kind of switch up some things then. Yeah. But it was like, still the missions could have still been there. Yeah. And for us, I don't know.
This is crazy.
But Hangman is your new AEW champion, and everybody got to go home happy.
Yes. Well, not the Death Riders, but everybody else.
Not the Death Riders, but And as this show was happening, it bled into the next show we'll talk about. So give me 1 second to switch up some things. The next thing is we have Saturday night's main event. Now we can kind of fly through these, because there's only a couple things worth talking about. But your first match, which Dizzle just steady keeps getting his heart broken, y'all. But the first match was Randall Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Now Randall Orton has Jelly Roll on his side, and all of a sudden Logan Paul is aligned with Drew McIntyre. And Dizzle just keeps getting his heart broken, because he's like, maybe today will be the day they finally give Big Drew his respect. And ladies and gentlemen, it was not. Because
Bruh.
Randy Orton caught that boy with an RKO, and that was it.
And I understand it. I mean, Randy after having the whole loss at King of the Ring, you know, he deserved a nice little W. But Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's like Drew just came back, man. It's like
came back.
What are y'all doing? Like and he may, you know, him and Logan may get the win at SummerSlam. Fine. But that's not Drew's win.
No.
You know?
No.
Like,
so of course what Dizzle is talking about, after the match was over with, Logan Paul decks Randy Orton. And then Jelly Roll throws Logan Paul off of Orton. Eventually, McIntyre recovers, hits Jelly Roll with a Claymore, and later on, it has been announced that yes, at SummerSlam, we're going to get Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Yeah. Yep.
Now, I'm not entirely mad because I think it was earlier this year, whenever Jelly Roll, you know, got slightly physical, I was like, man, I do want to see Jelly Roll in the ring, just see that choke slam again. So maybe we'll get that, you know. But based on his stature right now, he doesn't look like Big Jelly Roll like during that time when he did the choke slam. I forgot who he did it to, but
Austin Theory.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. So yeah.
But yes, so Orton gets the dub, and there you go. The next match was, oh, hold on, let me take this off. The next segment was actually a brawl. Jade Cargill was there because, you know, it was her hometown. Naomi comes out, and they just get into a whole scuffle. Like, it was just a whole altercation they got into. Eventually pull apart. And then we're going to roll into our next match of Solo Sikoa defending his United States Championship against Big Brother Jimmy Uso. Now, the thing I hated about this whole card, right? Every match was like, we know who's going to, I mean, other than, of course, Drew versus Orton, that could have been a coin flip. But we knew Solo. I mean, Solo has his MFT, which is his family tree. I mean, Jimmy didn't stand a chance.
No, and they have to stop putting Jimmy in because it kind of the same sentiment I had for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
with Jimmy, they always seem to slot Jimmy in like the wrong position. This is the opposite of what I talked about with AEW's like top 5. Jimmy is in like the bottom 5 people that it's like whatever anytime they try to slot him somewhere, it's just like they just do the wrong thing. It's like, I don't understand how you get Jay right when it comes to his ovation. It's like, oh yeah, we booked this perfectly, cool. But then it's like Jimmy, who I arguably is better than Jay in the ring.
Yes.
It's and to an extent a better promo as well. You do this, but it's like you slot him wrong. It's like nothing wrong with putting him up against Solo for the championship, but it's just like Solo just won the championship.
He just won it.
You already know Jimmy's not finna take this title off of him. It's like at least give it like a month or so to make it seem like, oh shit, Jimmy might come in and Big Brother Solo. It's like, nah. It's like, oh, you're about to job Jimmy out right now.
Literally, this match was only to set up that Jacob Fatu came back.
Yeah.
That's
horrible
literally what
position to put Jimmy in.
that's literally what this match set up for Jacob Fatu to come back and to kind of clear out the MFT. That was it.
And to do it after the match.
And to do it after the match. But yeah. And then Solo won by a roll-up with the help of Tala Tonga.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, there you go. The next match had an unfortunate mishap. It was Seth Rollins, LA Knight. Midway through the match, Seth Rollins did a springboard off the ropes and kind of did a springboard backflip to kind of flip over Knight. And then that knee took a buckle Seth went down, and it was like, oh shit. And then when he went down, it was kind of like, wait, is it a work? Is it for real? And then they was calling the medic over, and you can tell it was like, hey, Seth had enough oomph to just get up, walk over there, LA Knight BFT 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, news reports are saying that Seth didn't hurt his knee upon the flip, that he already had an injury or something, and I guess I don't know. No telling exactly yet. Everything is still early. I know at Evolution, Triple H did say that Seth is getting an MRI and everything. So hopefully we will know sooner than later what's going on. But on tonight's Raw, Heyman did a good promo to kind of save everything. He was like, regardless of how everything plays out, Seth has until June to cash this in. So until that changes, we gonna be all right.
And that's what I wanted to harp on too before, because that's what I was gonna say today before I even seen it on Raw, because when I was looking at the discourse online, like, oh damn, they're probably gonna have to have a match to take the briefcase. I'm like, why? Like he's not gonna take that. Like he's not gonna take a whole year to heal, because like one, we don't even know how bad the injury is. So it's like, and it's like at the same time, this is perfect because it takes him off TV. So you don't have to worry about continuously booking him in segments where he just has to talk or whatever. It's like, you go ahead, because you've already given LA Knight the rub by giving him the win over Seth Rollins. Cool. That feud is still intact. So now you got time to basically build up Braun and Bronson. So you got that already. And Heyman's already going to keep carrying that briefcase. So you have the mouthpiece already. By the time that Rollins comes back, it's probably going to be a surprise to everybody whenever he does do a cash in, because he may not come back until he does the cash in anyway, which will then be a crazy surprise, because nobody's going to know, because nobody knows when he's back. So if you play into that, it's even better now, because now there's that looming threat for what you have, because then you just keep everything kosher during that time, and then whenever he's ready, then you start to plan, okay, who's going to cash in on, what's going to happen here. Perfect. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a perfect way of doing it. That way, for a while, most likely they're going to keep Bronson and Braun together, with Heyman being the mouthpiece, and with him carrying that briefcase, is gonna emphasize that, hey, Mr. Rollins is still going to be a looming threat.
Yes.
So it's going to be a, hey, don't forget, this man still has the briefcase. And your main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship, you have Gunther defending against Bill Goldberg.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't a bad match.
No, it wasn't. I was surprised.
It was not a bad match. But at the same time, okay. Pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dizzle, and then I'm gonna ask you a question before we move on to the final event.
I personally, I feel like this match was more of a little too late situation, because
I can agree.
I think that if you were gonna, have his retirement match, it would have been better to either one, have this where Gunther wasn't the champion, so that way Goldberg could, maybe possibly go over, or have a situation where they didn't put the title on the line, because I think that's where the issue is. I don't, as much as I'm like, okay, well, I'm sick of, Goldberg coming in and going over on people, especially more so with the Bray Wyatt situation. But
God, yes, I never forget that.
Yeah, and I can't, which is why I don't have respect for them booking him. But with this situation, the feud itself makes sense, because they played into it. But to have him slotted, to go for the championship makes no sense to me. But this would have been better for him to go over on Gunther.
Yeah,
if he was not the champion, and find, because I mean, the way that the match played out, like they made it, they booked it nicely to where it's like you could believe Goldberg could potentially win in this situation. But it was what it was.
It was. So let me ask you this: for wrestling fans who have been, watching this for a while, especially if you was watching the WCW days and this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Goldberg has a conflated ego?
Oh, 100%.
Because I listen to the things he says and how he says it, and I guess how he sees himself and view himself, and it's like, don't get me wrong, Bill, I get it, but at the same time, I know this is gonna sound the way it's gonna sound, and so be it. You were kind of a gimmick, that like worked, but you were kind of a gimmick.
And that's the issue there, because it's this is I mean this in all honesty. He has a huge sense in his delusion. Like he is very delusional, because it's like it's almost like you being in a situation where everybody's playing a prank on you. And everybody is in on a joke outside. So everybody understands this is not real. We're just fucking with you, whatever. But he actually believes what's going on. So the whole thing where Eric Bischoff is building this gimmick that is Goldberg, the whole undefeated streak, the whole just unbeatable force meant to take down Hogan. Everybody understands, okay, he comes in, spears, jackhammer, done. He's not the type to go in the ring and actually give you 5-star classics. He's meant to come out there and just be a powerhouse. So everybody on the roster understands, hey, this guy is the gimmick. We're gonna sell merchandise. He's gonna be the spectacle that we have when he have on TV. He's gonna be the one that put butts in seats. He's not the person that we're gonna put on a card to show you, yo, we about to put on this 5-star classic. Let's go find Bill Goldberg. No, it's not that. But here's the thing: all the wrestlers understand that. He's the only person in here that thinks, oh, y'all need somebody to put on a 5-star classic. I need to be first on that list.
Yes, and that's the thing I hate, because it's like,
And the one person that said it best and that did it best was Regal, because when he had his match and he basically proved Bill Goldberg, was shit in the ring because he couldn't work, and then he talked about it. And to this day, that has never left my cerebellum, because ever since I seen that match, and then ever since I heard William Regal talk about that match that he had with Bill Goldberg, everything made sense to me. And that's where I'm like, okay, that's where I realized his delusion is absolutely for real, because it showed a little bit in WCW, but it really showed when he got to WWE. So and he continues to believe it, because even with him saying there will never be another Bill Goldberg, hopefully not.
Exactly. Look, he said that, and I was thinking to myself, good. I am ecstatic.
We know the way that he meant to say it,
and which is fine. Because once again, that necessary era and style. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the same list as an Ultimate Warrior, because that's exactly what that is. The powerful gimmick that way, but and it's nothing against Ultimate Warrior. It's just like that's what the gimmick was. The powerhouse that comes in, that probably gasses very quickly, but you're not going to have a quick 5. You're not going to have a good, long 5-star match with it. It's going to be somebody that comes in, is there to sit here and do his, get the crowd pumping up, whatever, They're not John Cena, because John Cena, you can make the 5 moves of doom joke, but John Cena goes. He definitely goes. He is a gimmick, yes. And he started off as a gimmick, but John Cena is a workhorse. He's somebody that can give you a 5-star classic if need be, but he can also be a fucking gimmick at the same time.
Yes.
John Cena is absolutely John Cena could be the GOAT, to be perfectly honest, because he's the complete package. Most people may not want to hear that, and that's fine, but I mean,
and that's totally fine. But
you got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the end of Saturday night's main event. Off air, there was pretty much a 10-minute speech Goldberg did. Pretty much,
bro, they cut him off early.
boy. And yeah, so Bill Goldberg, ladies and gentlemen. And next up, we have WWE Evolution 2. Now, this is the first event since 2018. Yeah, 2018. So. Now, I will say this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it was because it was on a different day and this was the only wrestling on. But when I tell you, I enjoyed this show from start to finish. I was having a time watching Evolution. But I guess it also goes to show too, in WWE's case, when they let the women cook, they cook. And I think that's the issue.
Yeah, this pissed me the absolute fuck off.
Gasp.
Because it's one of those situations where it's like, you telling me you could have done this a long time ago? It's like, why the fuck have you been doing this? Like what's happening? You can put on pay-per-views like this, and you've been giving me shit this whole time. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I could agree with that sentiment. It's like, wait. We could have. Wait, you telling me y'all could have been cooking like this the whole time? Yeah. The whole time?
Now I will. You know what? No, I'm gonna save it till after we talk about the main event. But it seems like they may have gotten the memo based on what I've seen on Raw.
Okay, I think I know where you're cooking at, but hey, let's get into it. The first match, cooking. They started off chefing it up. The first match was a triple threat match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defending against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. And hey, all you people who are just now getting on the Lyra train, shame on y'all.
Yeah, that's admittedly me.
Calling her boring, saying this. Lyra been that since she was in NXT.
That was me. I was absolutely calling her boring.
These women went out there and chefed us up a great appetizer. Yeah, because for this to start the show, and they went out there and literally had one of the best triple threat matches you're gonna see this year. Goodness.
Yes. This absolutely worked for me because, and not just a match, but this feud, because I was a skeptic with the whole, Becky coming into Mania, then going into Raw, and the situation with there taking Bayley's spotlight. But now I'm starting to see that this may have just been the catalyst that Lyra needed for everybody to see her, because I think the thing is it's like something just felt off. But I think with this, now she has the right dancing partners.
Yes.
And so it seems like she's become somebody in her own right, because again, like I said, I was one of those people that when she came on TV, I was like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about this. I don't care.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, okay, Lyra, I see you. And with the match that was had tonight, which we'll get into later, that her and Bayley just seem to just have
they have chemistry. Now, the closing moments of this match, Bayley finally caught Lyra in the rose plant, and I don't know if they practiced this move,
how smooth this shit was,
or it just happened that way. But the way Becky floated over to roll Bayley into a backslide was like, my God. Like, oh my God. That was the smoothest steal of a win I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. But yes, Becky retained. And we can go ahead and give some updates like Dizzle was talking about today on Raw. Bailey and Lyra had a 2 out of 3 falls to determine who's going to fight Becky at SummerSlam. Surprisingly, Lyra Valkyria wins.
Yeah, with the cleanest of Nightwings, because how she reversed it and then hit Bailey with. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so swift and smooth.
Because I just knew Bailey was going to be the one
absolutely
to win this, but no. So most likely Lyra is probably going to get her belt back at SummerSlam.
So okay, now here's the thing.
Okay,
I was with it, but I don't think I want to see that yet.
I can see that too.
And
I
the
can
reason,
see that too.
And it's ironic. It's ironic that it's Becky, because again, we had Seth back in the day reinvigorate and reignite the Intercontinental Championship.
He did. That is true.
And now you have Becky in a position to do what, unfortunately, Lyra didn't do.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of the same thing I said about Dustin with the TNT Championship. Yeah. I think she might just be doing it to where now she's doing Lyra, because I think Lyra's going to get it back, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think she's doing a justice and a nice service to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So the same thing that I think Julia might do with the Women's US Championship.
Yes. I can see that.
So,
but yes, like cooking. And then we get on to what Dizzle and I was alluding to earlier in the show. For the NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane defended against Jordan Grace. Now, of course, JC had Fatal Influence. Before, we saw a segment where Jordan was like, hey, Blake, can you accompany me to the ring? And Blake was like, are you sure? This is your moment. I don't want to step on your moment. And Jordan was like, nah, I want you out there. So Blake was like, all right, bet, I'll go. Once again, I mean, another good match. This was a good match with some good back and forth. Of course, you know, the name of the game is, you know, JC's supposed to be the most beatable champion because, you know, nobody expected her to become NXT Women's Champion. So they're looking at her like she's lunch, like she's food. Like, you know, any woman can and will take that belt off of JC, especially since they just lost the tag team match. I will say this for anybody. If JC kind of didn't make people a believer
she did
after last night, then I don't know what else that woman can do. Like, I'm gonna just put it like that. I don't know what else she can do.
I think from my perspective, and I'm only going to speak for me, I'm not going to speak about the rest of the fans that probably believe that she's not credible. My thing came from a bias. Now, I'm not saying that JC isn't good, because I think when her and Gigi had their feud after the whole Toxic Attraction situation, JC had the chops as far as character-wise that showed me okay, she can stand on her own. But my thing was, I'm just like, you know, it was out of nowhere, and I'm, you know, for the shock value, cool, but you know, nothing seemed like it was time for her to get this. Like, she seemed more like a more mid-card title female at this point. But and you know, I'll probably wait till we get to the culmination of the match. But I think, you know, they're about to take this in a direction that's going to benefit her. So
yes, absolutely. So the culmination was, of course, Fatal Influence starts to interfere. Blake is kind of mixing it in with him, and then the championship comes into play. Eventually, Blake has the championship in her hands, and the ref was still distracted. And when Jordan Grace hit the ropes, Blake hit Jordan in the back with the championship, which then, boom, JC hits the rolling encore elbow. 1, 2, 3. JC retains. Blake comes in the ring and kind of gives the championship to JC, and then she kind of does her little thing like, yeah, that was done on purpose. So officially at TNA Slammiversary, it'll be JC Jane versus Masha Slamovich winner takes all.
So they protected Jordan Grace, which is good. You know, I still think it was shit to do what they did with her and Stephanie Vaquer. If you were already gonna change the titles, and why not? But maybe they got something planned, because to have her still in this feud and not bring her up to the main roster, clearly they're doing some long-term booking with Jordan Grace.
Yes,
that's fine. I have no issue with that. My only question now is what's going on with Blake Monroe now. Like, is she going to be a part of Fatal Influence?
I think they're going to still just pretty much have Blake feud with Jordan.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Which that's going to be to Jordan's detriment, because I definitely don't see her coming out on top on this feud.
Nah, unfortunately. And maybe this may be her send-off.
Well, and now that's the question that I do have, because it's like, do you think they're doing a disservice to Jordan Grace by having her take all these L's right now? Like, is her stock going down?
So if you really want to know my opinion, yes. Only because she just came off of being a very dominant TNA champion. And then now we're seeing what she's been going through with this situation. And it's like, she doesn't seem very juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't seem like this dominant woman.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it's gonna look weird if she looks impressive, doing impressive things, ultimately losing. But then if she gets magically called up, then it's like, so why should we care?
Exactly.
You know, so yes, it is kind of doing her a disservice a little bit that she's taking all of these losses. Granted, even if they could be by nefarious means, still, taking L's is still taking L's at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But like I said, JC retains. We'll see who wins out of her and Slamovich at Slammiversary. Like I said, winner takes all, which I have a feeling TNA is gonna get their lick back on that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So the next match, oh baby. Now it wasn't no Hangman versus Mox, but you know, you had Jade Cargill take on Naomi in a no holds barred match with Bianca Belair as special guest referee.
Yeah.
And they went out there and still had them a nice little match. Like the thing I hate about wrestling fans at times is that we sometimes don't let things cook.
Yeah, very true.
We sometimes just just be like, oh well, since this is happening, oh well, boom boom boom. And they're trash, Jay's trash, I don't care. Then it's like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, let the women cook a little bit. Let the woman kind of, you know, build herself up. You know what I'm saying? Let her, you know, train a little bit more. Y'all be wanting people to come in just immediately superstars. Like, let her cook a little bit. Jeez. But you know, fickle. As Daniel Bryan used to tell us back in the day. Fickle. That's all it is, just fickle. But you know, whatever. But yeah, so they put on the show. Now, for those who are watching, yes, I did do this out of order, not on purpose. I mean, sorry, on purpose, because it leads credence to what happens later. This was not the third match, but I did it out of order because it helps with the finale of the show. But ultimately, Jade does hit a Jaded from the top rope through a table. Bianca has to count that 3. Now, one of the things is that Mike, my brother, he was saying that he wish Bianca would have been more definite on her side. Like was she on Naomi's side in the end? Was she on Jade's side? Granted, it was still cool for her to still call it down the middle, but it would have been definite that okay, Jade, I kind of rock with you type of thing, or oh no, don't hurt my friend Naomi, so. But ultimately, it still was a good match.
Yeah. I'll save that part. We'll just put a pin in what I'm going to say as far as the Bianca situation.
Okay. Now, the original third match was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. You had Judgment Days, Raquel and Roxanne defending against Charlotte and Bliss, Zarya and Sol Ruka, and the Kabuki Warriors of Kairi Sane and Asuka. Once again, they went out there and like I said, to me, there was no bad matches to me. Mm-hmm. There was definitely matches that were better than others, but there was still no bad matches. This was actually kind of a fun match to watch. Now, this was one of the matches when I was saying with the AEW situation, I think this probably would have been a better situation if you would have had the 4 women in the match at the same time rather than the tag stuff. Because like we mentioned earlier, when you had all 8 women brawling, it was like, whomst is legal.
Yeah.
It was like literally like especially even when it came down to the end, it was like, are we sure those were the legal 2 people? Because geez. But shout outs to NXT, Zarya and Soul.
Yeah.
The crowd was loving them some Soul and Zarya, and they got a chance to see Soul hit that Soul Snatcher as well. But and I noticed one of your predictions actually didn't happen. Charlotte trying to steal the spotlight.
She did.
When?
During the entrance.
That's right. When she did the little jacket thing. Okay. I give you that one. I thought you were talking more or less during the match because remember she saved Bliss and I was like,
yeah. Well, so I initially was thinking the match, but I was like, when it happened, I was like, I'll take it. But I think it's still probably going to happen during the match too, though. But, but it didn't. But Charlotte still did Charlotte stuff, so that was, that was fine. One thing about this match showed me something that I tend to forget about when it comes to criticisms of certain superstars. When you have people in certain areas, they may not be good in that certain area, but if you put them somewhere else, they may flourish there.
Okay.
And that's a situation that I have with Zarya because on NXT, I'm like, I don't care.
I can agree with you.
But she seems to fit here on the main roster. I mean, granted, it may, she has a lot of help in matches like this where there's a lot of people there, but she seems like she fits there.
You know what it was with Zarya, unfortunately, since we know NXT is such a small knit group of like up and comers.
Yeah,
they kind of unintentionally fucked Zarya over because Jordan Grace. Because that Zarya was supposed to come in, be this powerhouse. Then when you have Jordan Grace in at the same time, it's like, yeah, you could be a powerhouse too, but we still have Jordan at the moment.
Yeah.
So it will behoove you to let's do this tag team with you and Soul, even though I will be the first to admit I thought this was not going to still be a thing at this time.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Now, Zarya did spear the shit out of Soul in this match by accident, of course.
Yeah.
But I did not think that this still would have been a thing. Now, the ending to this match was very flat.
Oh, yeah.
Like Roxanne hit a pop rocks. I forgot who she hit it on. Then she dove on some women on the outside. Raquel hits the Chacona bomb or the Tejana bomb, and then boom, that was it. And I was like, huh, that was a interesting way to win that.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. So
now, I will say, and this is just judging based off the last few weeks. I think I'm starting to prefer Roxanne and Raquel as a tag team over Liv and Raquel.
Because you know why?
Why?
And this is nothing against Liv.
No, absolutely not.
No. This statement I'm about to say, Liv is better suited solo. Liv is better suited solo as a solo star than a tag star.
But I still want to see them
as nothing against Raquel as well.
Oh no. Raquel is actually, her stock has upped since Liv.
I mean, which you know how I've been feeling about Raquel since NXT. So
now this is also part of the situation with Liv. I think because again, Liv should basically be on her own, and ironically enough, this is a Shawn Michaels Diesel almost mirrored situation.
Yep.
Because Diesel was overshadowed in the moment that he kind of pulled away from Shawn, he flourished. And so now I'm starting to see, well, I mean, Raquel has always been there, but
there was some criticisms Raquel suffered from Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash said that Raquel wrestles too small, that she needs to wrestle bigger.
I agree.
And her response is, if Kevin Nash is saying that, I will take them words to heart, because he is an example of a big man and wrestling. So if that's his criticism, I will work on it.
Yeah. Perfect example was the match she had with Rhea.
Yep.
That match right there. Matter of fact, it was once that feud reignited and they started feuding, it was like, oh, we got something here. Yeah. And then, Liv being gone and shit like that. And then everything kind of just continued on. And then now the whole thing with her being paired with Roxanne, which again benefits her, because now Roxanne isn't really going to overshadow.
No,
because she's playing her part, which is cool. So hopefully this kind of spawns, and I think when Liv gets back, Liv might end up being a face, depending on what they do with this. I don't think they're going to keep them together like that. If they did, cool, but if they didn't, that's fine as well. But I think Liv coming back to an ovation and probably getting the belt back, and then now having her feud, kind of, i.e. Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Kind of mirroring that situation.
You supposed to be my friend. How you do me like this?
Which
and
is
you
perfect.
Do it for. So yeah. But yeah, so Judgment Day does get the dub and they retain. Your next match was for the WWE Women's Championship. You had the champ Tiffany Stratton defending against the living legend, your first crush, Trish Stratus.
That's right, y'all.
Hey, if y'all watch this match, Trish Stratus is 49, y'all.
Bruh.
And she was out there doing it grande.
I was gonna write this match completely off, and I did.
I think everybody were, to be perfectly honest with you, because Tiffy got a chance to choose her opponent. Then it was like she chose Trish Stratus, and it was like, okay, we're just doing it for the evolution moment. Okay,
yeah.
Shit, were we wrong?
Oh, 100%. Because
To be mad, I wouldn't have been mad if Trish would have won. I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been mad. If Trish would have won, I would have been like, well, sorry, Tiff.
Yeah. Because, man, I was, again, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because I think it had a lot to do with just like the atmosphere of the whole weekend, because all these women just decided to step the fuck up.
There was no bad. There was really no. I will say this: you can probably say the worst women's match of the whole weekend was probably the tag team match at Great American Bash. But even then, it wasn't bad in the sense of get this off my TV. is that when you compare it to all the other women's wrestling we had through AEW and through this event, oh boy.
Yeah, something got to be ranked at the bottom. So
yeah, something got to be ranked at the bottom. But yeah, I mean, it was almost sad to see Trish lose for the performance she gave against Tiffany. But you know, they're setting it up for Stratton versus Cargill because Cargill did win Queen of the Ring. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been set up. So, but yes, eventually Tiffy does hit the prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3. She retains. She also let Trish get a chance to have her moment with the fans. We don't know if this is it for Trish or not, but if this is it, my goodness, what a way to go out. What a way to go out. I mean, it was better than Goldberg's last match. So.
And you know,
what a way to go out.
This is Cena's fault because Cena had to have sparked something because
he had to.
Everybody's like, I need one more good run real quick. I need
one more. Yes. Yeah. Cena got everybody getting that itch again. But yeah. And like I said, the match after this match would have been the no holds barred match, but we talked about it earlier for reasons. The next up was the Battle Royal. Now, the women's Battle Royal consists of, I think, like 20 or so women, and the winner gets a shot at whatever champion at Clash of Paris, and I think is whatever brand they represent. And let's see if I still have the list with pretty much, because that was pretty much the women that was in that match. But we had Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Natalya, Michin, Izzy Dame, Maxine Dupree, Stephanie Vercure, B-Fab, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Tatum Paxley, Nikki Bella, Lola Vice, Chelsea Green, Kalani Jordan, Ivy Now, Alba Fire, Piper Niven, and Julia. Mm-hmm. I think that was literally the whole list. I don't think there was anybody extra.
Yeah.
It was actually an exciting battle royal to watch. It was actually exciting. It was exciting to watch.
And you know the crazy part is this wasn't a slog and it wasn't long. I've watched this battle royal 3 times because I was trying to get the points down.
Yeah.
I've watched it 3 times and each time I got surprised.
Thank you, Lash. Thank you, Jada. Thank you, Stephanie.
My gosh.
Ladies, I really appreciate y'all.
I was surprised at how short.
B-Fab too, because B-Fab got me one too.
Yeah, she did get. B-Fab did get one.
Maxine Dupree let me down.
Yeah, I mean that's not surprising, no.
But yeah, like the only, and of course this is from a fan standpoint. I wish there would have been a few more women in it, maybe like a couple of TNA women, but for what they had. Like maybe a couple of TNA women, maybe even a couple of AAA women, but for what they had, it was still fine. Like it was still fire. Like,
it absolutely was.
Like it was a great battle royal. Like, so funny thing enough, when this battle royal started, and then the way it was starting off, I was like, well, I'm about to lose this because Nia Jax about to act a fool. Because she got out Tatum and Izzy like that. I was like, oh.
Which for story purposes, I'm glad they did it like that because I was like, they want to show her do her thing and then, later just get her out of there.
And then, we had Kofi Kingston Jr. because when she threw out Kalani was caught by Tatum and Izzy, but then she kind of rolled to the table. Then she handstand her way back in the ring. And, and she was in there. So effortless. Like it was like, my goodness. And unlike Kofi, shout outs to Kofi, at least Kalani was still in the battle royal for some time. It wasn't like she did all that to get back in the ring to get tossed out. No, she was in there for a time. Jada Parker, Lash Legend, had a great showing.
Yeah, I think it was all the women that they did vignettes for.
Yeah, they had a great showing. Lola had a pretty nice little showing as well. I mean, so funny enough, right? I didn't even think about Stephanie Vercure winning because I saw Nikki Bella and I was like, well, they want Nikki to have that last run like we've been talking about. So why not let her have the title match at Clash in Paris?
Yeah.
Because, yes, it's a PLE, but it's kind of the quote unquote one-off PLEs. So that's why I was like, well, Nikki Bella gonna take this, and surprisingly it wasn't, because Lash Legend got her out of there, and Lash Legend was like, bye, Legend. Pun and no pun intended. And then what we really saw, Lash hoisting up Nia Jax, dumping her over, and then both Stephanie and Lash together eliminates Nia, which then left the runway for me because my 2 picks was left. So I had no choice but to get points. Mad points.
Crazy.
Mad points. But Stephanie and Lash kind of went at it. And boy, that devil's kiss. Thank you, Booker T, for not only getting that move over, and thank you, Atlanta, for actually doing the app rather than, I think the last time the people were counting. It's like, you don't count.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I didn't.
Like, you do the Booker T sound effects. But thank you, Atlanta, for doing the sound effects. You can tell the people in Atlanta watched NXT.
Yeah.
Because the NXT women got love.
Oh,
it wasn't like who are these people? No, the NXT women, Soul, Zarya, Lash, Jada, Lola, they all got love. So, but yeah, Stephanie Vaquera does get the W. She will be taking on whoever comes out champion, which we will discuss momentarily. Whoever comes out champion at the SummerSlam, Stephanie Vaquera has next.
Yeah, here's the thing about and just for the record, people, I do believe that Evolution is probably going to be a yearly show now.
I don't want it to be yearly.
No, well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why I say that.
Okay.
Because you have, and it was specifically this battle royal that solidified
it over.
Yeah. Because looking at the women in this battle royal, nobody, I mean, outside of maybe like a couple, nobody really seemed misplaced. But it also showed me the amount of talent that WWE has in the pipeline for the main roster.
Yeah.
To the point to where it's like, yeah, you can have a few that can come up next year, you know, during the draft or whatever. But it's now going to get to the point where the women's roster is going to become so saturated with talent that it's going to be hard to decipher who you put where.
Okay.
And so they're going to have something that showcases the women way more than just vying for spots. So now all the championships that they have, which, I mean, people could complain about women having a lot of championships, but now it makes more sense due to what's going on with the roster here.
Especially when you got so much in NXT waiting as well.
So that's the only reason why I say that. Now, they may not do it like that, but they're if they don't do that and have it as a yearly show, then they at least need to make sure that these pay-per-views give the women more time. Like these 2-night pay-per-views, like SummerSlam coming up, they're gonna have to at least have two women's matches at the minimum each show, 2 or 3.
I can see that.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
All right, and now it's time for the main event for that Women's World Championship. You have Rhea Ripley is trying to win that big one. She has never defeated this woman in one-on-one competition. Io Sky is defending that championship. I know we are over 2 hours in, so however how Dizzle decides to do it, whether he cuts it up, makes it one big show, whatever. I'm saying this and I'm meaning this from the heart. If this is not my favorite match from the weekend, it's definitely number 2.
Bro.
Because maybe, and this is a strong maybe the Bucks and Swerve and Hangman could possibly, not Hangman, sorry, Swerve and Ospreay, but this possibly is my favorite match of the whole weekend. Jesus, these women went in there, and the term showed up and showed out is an understatement. I was almost mad at the way the match ended, because considering what they was giving us, but I would be remiss to I would be the biggest liar. But We'll get there. But go ahead, Dizzle. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start by getting something off my chest.
Go ahead. What you got?
For starters, because I know there's a lot of discourse online where everybody's talking about, oh, you know, Rhea doesn't need another championship, all this other stuff. Why is she still going for the shit? This is not the same thing as a Charlotte.
No.
Mainly because with Rhea, they know how to book her without a championship. And they know how to book her going in for a chase. At the same time, Rhea doesn't have a problem putting people over. So there's that.
Yeah, because it's actually one of the first times where Charlotte is kind of receptive to putting people over.
Yes, absolutely. And good for it. The other point that I have that comes with this discourse is that Rhea is already good at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
To watch this match and see her step into another gear, whew, if you do not think that she deserves a championship or gold, you are as delusional as Bill Oldberg.
Yes.
Because there is no way that you can watch this match, and I mean absolutely pay attention to this match, and say that she doesn't belong in the position that she's in. Because Rhea is not just a gimmick. Like, yes, her presentation is absolutely nice. She's hot. She's muscle mommy. She's all this stuff here. But she can go better than a lot of fucking men on the roster as well. And do the powerhouse shit a lot better than some men on the fucking roster.
And not only that, but the problem is, so kind of like to touch upon what Dizzle was saying, it's not like 2015 Roman Reigns. It's not like any of that, because she legitimately goes out there and puts on these great matches. The fans love her. Like, it's one of those things to where she's legitimately doing something that people care about, and people actually care about Rhea. And whether she wins or loses is not necessarily a bad thing, because it's a great thing to watch.
Yes.
Like, even the fact that, like, how I hated how she weaseled her way into the match at WrestleMania. Yeah. Ultimately, those three ladies had an amazing fucking match.
Yeah. So, and she didn't win.
So yeah. So it's one of those things to where, and like we said, unlike Charlotte, she's better for it. She's better for it of doing it, because it's just, let her do it. In essence, let her go out there, do the damn thing, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
because you do need a star, for instance, and Rhea is the star.
Yes, 100%. She is,
and she's not selfish.
Yes, and that's no slight to EO.
Yes, there's no slight to EO.
And wait, sorry. And because I know there's going to be a smart ass that either you go into the comments or you're thinking it right now. Even though the triple threat between Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda, even though Charlotte did the same thing and weaseled her in, here's the difference between the Rhea situation. Rhea didn't get handed a championship by going over on somebody else, Asuka, who deserved to have a championship and lose her spot in WrestleMania, to then get into a triple threat match. That's not the same thing. Just for the record, for anybody that's thinking, oh, well, Charlotte did the same thing and you're mad at her because of what happened, because Asuka paid the price for that. Now, back to the EO situation. My other thing that I'm getting off my chest is that EO has been booked horribly as champion, like completely forgettable since WrestleMania.
And that's so sad. Like, I don't see how y'all do that. Like, I don't see how that's a thing.
Yes. And it should not take this match, this flawless main event match for everybody to see just how fucking good EO is. It should not have to take something like that. Now, granted, her and Rhea are fantastic dance partners because Rhea is with EO. She understands EO as if like they not even like it's like they telepathic with each other. They completely just telekinesis and everything with however you want to say it with the shit. They just in sync completely. This match was just so this is my favorite match of the weekend. It was just so good.
Like I said, I think I'm willing to say that this is my favorite match of the weekend. Like I am willing to say it officially that this is my favorite match of the weekend.
Rhea found a way to just put over EO in like the best fucking way. Like she gave EO the razor's edge into the sit out power bomb. That whole sequence was just like, damn, like you really just trying to take EO out. Like this is like
they were out there like you would have thought like literally like on some Squid Game, like whoever loses somebody gonna die. Like, like that's the way that they was going out there when they was just doing it. Like you would have like, damn, is somebody supposed to like die? And and then Jessica Carr took a mean missile drop kick.
That's the other thing. Thank you, because I would have forgot to bring it up. Because that was nothing, because you never see women like referees take bumps like, well,
no,
Aubrey does.
Yeah, but still, this was like in WWE sense, this was like something else.
Yeah, like that, man. I was surprised. I was like, they're taking that springboard drop kick like that.
Yeah, and then like I love how she took that, and then EO and Rhea just said, "Fuck it." They started having them a little brawl. Like man. She just said, "Fuck it," and they just we gonna just fuck it. We gonna figure it out. And then they started brawling into the crowd. EO hit one of her high dives. Like it was like, oh shit! Like I was really doing this. Yeah, like we really doing this. It was like all the while I was like, damn, Jessica, that was a drop kick you took. If that took you out like that. But then they did eventually get back to the ring. Rhea does hit the riptide, but once again, Jessica Carr is still pretty much dead on the ground. And then midway through, because Rhea's getting frustrated, we hear the music of one Naomi. And to the surprise of everyone, it was like, wait, because Dizzle did predict a cash in, but he predicted it on the wrong match.
Yep.
He predicted it with Tiff and Trish, but not this. Because if he would have predicted this for this, I would have gave him the championship. I would have been like, well, shit, the fact that you predicted that, you got it, big dog. Like, you got it. But Naomi comes out there, and I just love the image. Of course, we see Naomi, we see Daphne DeLaShawn, we see Alicia Taylor. It was like, this is an image that we normally would not see in wrestling. But then she announces a triple threat. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, just like a smart person would do, she immediately takes that briefcase, smacks the shit out of EO, grabs Rhea, throw her in the corner, split-legged moonsault to EO, and new women's world champion Slay on me,
man.
When I tell you the emotions that came over me during this match, shout outs to Mike. Mike said he was in tears because he's been riding with Naomi since FCW. So for him to see this, and then of course how everything played out with her and Sasha, her doing it big in TNA, her coming back, and just the overwhelming love that that woman has been getting. And not only that, whether you want to admit to it or not, she was the best booked wrestler in the women's division.
Yeah. Ever since the reveal of the Jade attack, she's just been on go. She has leaned into everything. And
yes, she is your champion. Whether you loved it or hate it, she is your champion. And not only is she your champion, but tonight she came out there, you know, her little celebration. Rhea comes out, and Rhea was like, you know what? I have never beaten that woman. I had two things: beating Io and getting that championship. And because of you, I still have not been able to do both. And then eventually Io comes out. Io says some things. Naomi like, I ain't understand what you just said, but both of y'all need to go back to the back of the line. You know, this is me now. Of course, they was getting into it. Adam Pearce comes out, and he should have said this was going to be the main event, or at least one of the nights. But officially, at SummerSlam, this match is probably about to be match of the weekend.
It's possible.
It's a strong possibility that this may be match of the weekend.
Yes.
Because we know we're going to have Tiffany versus Jade. We know we're going to have this. We're going to have Cody versus John Cena. We're going to have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. And because of the events tonight, we're going to get CM Punk versus Gunther. So we know we're going to get that. But this right here is going to be my most anticipated match to see.
Yes.
Easily.
To piggyback off of this segment, first and foremost, shout out to Juggs, because I'm about to just do some horny Joe stuff here. Io.
Oh, boy. Hey. Those should be illegal. Illegal.
I don't know where you was hiding them shorts at, Io.
Illegal.
But you surprised the hell out of me, because that music hit and I was like, okay, Io coming out, and I was like, wait, Io coming? I'm like, hold up, Io really coming out? But I digress. Naomi, first and foremost, I am so glad that they are allowing Naomi to basically have free reign on her promos and being able to just talk, because it was when I first noticed it officially when she had that promo against Tiffany, and so the crowd was going, what? And she rebutted with, bitch, you heard me. I was like, oh yes, more of this please. And so I think ever since that point, her interactions with the crowd, especially tonight, was just perfect. And just her calling all the Russ heifers in the back, and
they are letting her legitimately cook.
And I'm so glad that because I thought she was gonna lean into, because when she came out, she seemed like she was about to, you know, high five the fans and stuff like that. She hit one person's hand, but it's like almost like it clicks. She was I know she's happy about being champ, but she got in the ring and she let them kind of, you know, be the whole you deserve it. Then she like locked in and was like, nah.
She was like, nah, are we telling me I deserve it now?
And it's like, yeah. And so now to take the pin out of what I had put a pin in earlier when it comes to the Bianca situation. So it was a shot, because I mean, nobody, now I don't know if they called an audible, if this was the plan all along, because everybody online was saying the same thing. She gonna cash in on Tiff. They're gonna have the situation with her and Jade, or she gonna cash in on Jade, whatever the case is, and they're gonna just keep this going. To have them call this and very very smart, by the way, especially with Naomi's promo to be like, oh, y'all thought y'all knew what was going to happen, all y'all, which made me think that this was probably an audible. But it was, if it is an audible, it's a good one. If this was the plan the whole time, then kudos to WWE. But if it is an audible, it's a good one for the simple fact that you're not going to book her in a box. Like you're taking this gimmick, which means that she's graduated from SmackDown to Raw, because you're taking the gimmick that she has, which is a surprising but a very good gimmick change for Naomi, because now they're giving you another top heel in the women's division, which is perfect. But to basically still have her allude to everything when it comes to Bianca and Jade, to, if you want to come back and revisit that, you can, but to then take this and then put her to freshen her up on this side, to make sure that you don't make that shit stale, because you don't want to overshadow Jade. I get what they're doing there, but what I was gonna say earlier when it came to the Bianca situation, if Bianca is still in on the situation with the attack on Jade, or if this is just a story thing to basically pull, I guess making Naomi's realization and her talking to Bianca like click to Bianca, being like, oh, she's right, and then having Bianca turn heel, and then now having that whole feud between them, and then keeping that title fresh over there without them three going at the same title. Yeah, it then tends to work, because then you're going, if you're going to have the feud with Bianca and Jade, you're at least giving Jade kind of the same thing that Lyra needed with Becky.
Yes, facts.
So, and it actually helps, kind of the same thing that you were saying when it came to a lot of people that have backlash against Jade because they think, you know, whatever, she probably needs more time, all this other stuff. Putting her with Bianca, who she's been with for the past, year or so, and allowing people to start to see what everybody now is seeing with Lyra.
Yep. So I think that this upcoming month for the build to SummerSlam, it could hopefully help Jade some. But then if they do book Jade to win the championship, hopefully, like you said, they do the Bianca thing to give her that dance partner, the familiarity, and like you said, hopefully it fully brings out the, like you said, the Lyra thing, because I can 100% see that situation.
I'm happy about this, and it also with them kind of transitioning into Raw. Raw was very female centric.
Yes, it was,
and I was surprised. I was like, okay, if y'all keep doing it, like even if y'all don't do it every week, to do it every other week, where it's like you actually give focus to, because you have a lot of people on the roster where everybody can start to get their shine now.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question before we wrap it up. Chances are Naomi is going to walk out champ.
Yes.
Does she drop the belt to Stephanie at Clash in Paris?
No.
Okay.
No. So is that who the battle royal is? Is it for that title?
So whoever, whatever brand you represent.
Okay, gotcha.
So since Stephanie's on Raw, whoever walks out of SummerSlam as champ goes against Stephanie at Clash in Paris.
No, I think that this match for Stephanie is really just to showcase if she can, handle the big stage, which she can.
Yeah. But
I think it's because one thing is for sure, and I've noticed it with EO too. Stephanie's English is getting better. EO's English is getting better. Even though Naomi did kind of, which I that's the only part of the promo that I hated.
Yeah, that Naomi was like, I understand what you just said. Yeah.
Because that was the best English that EO had.
It actually was.
But I think they're going to give Stephanie more time to cook, because again, her English, like I said, with her promo that she did last night, after she won, I think they're going to keep her in this part, have her lose. Naomi may cheat, which is fine, which works out for Stephanie.
It's triple threat. Oh, you talking about against Stephanie or in this match?
For Stephanie.
Okay.
It would protect her. Because I don't see them. I definitely don't see Io or Rhea taking it off of Naomi during this match, which works because
this was the funny part, right? So I'm seeing the way things are going on SmackDown and Raw.
Mhm.
I'm gonna assume Chelsea and the Secret Herpes are now on Raw. I guess.
It maybe.
So it looks like they're gonna do Stephanie and Nikki Bella versus the Secret Herpes and Chelsea, maybe at SummerSlam if they want to book it for another 3 weeks somehow. What else? Like I said, of course we know we still got people like Nia Jax Lumen. We still have and I can see Jade versus Nia.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I'm excited to see where all of this goes.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see what's going to be the fallout of the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, to see where that goes from there. I'm excited to see what Julia brings. You know, since you know they kind of gave her officially that coming out party at Evolution to showcase that, hey, here's your Women's United States Champion. So I'm kind of excited for the women in WWE at the moment.
Yes, 100%.
Especially coming off of Evolution. So like this right here needs to be a main event match. Like I understand we got Gunther versus CM Punk. I understand we got Cody versus Cena. This needs to main event night one.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, because Punk and Gunther don't really need.
They don't. They can open. They can open night one or something. But yeah,
Gunther just was on the marquee of Saturday Night's Main Event, so he good right now. Punk, it's not necessary. He was just on the marquee for
WrestleMania. Yeah.
No,
I forgot. Yes, I forgot Saudi Arabia.
So I mean, go ahead and have these ladies, you know, top off night one.
Yes, and
then they can go into night two with Cody and Cena. Because I'm specifically talking about, because I mean Rhea and Io, they got it, but Naomi deserves this spotlight now based on the work that she's done and the work that she's more than likely going to continue to do if they keep, you know, pushing her.
If they keep letting her chef it up, yes.
Her presentation right now is very fresh and it's so good. And the crowd is behind her. What, you know, and you know, if you a heel and they behind you like that, go ahead and just lean into it, because they
go ahead and lean into it. Exactly.
They are eating her promo stuff up, and the most crowd participation that you can get out of Naomi, the better.
Yes. Facts.
And I know they might lean into the whole angry black woman thing, but it's not done in a derogatory way.
No, it's not. It's not. Thank God.
Yeah, that absolutely. Thank God, because that could easily go left in the worst way. But she's so entertaining with it to where there's no way you can look at it in a derogatory way. She just got it. So keep pushing it, Trips.
Facts. All right, well, hey, that was the show. That was 4 shows.
Yes,
we just gave y'all nearly a 3-hour program.
Yes.
Now, also too at SummerSlam, this needs to be addressed as well, because somebody wants something of mine. You know?
Technically, I should have it. Here's the thing, man.
See this right
because
here.
You got saved, because
I don't care. If
we take all the RNG out,
I don't care. I
cleaned up.
I don't care.
So,
but
again, like the wise Vin Diesel said, "Win by an inch, win by, you know, a win is a win." I get it. You know, hey.
Matter of fact, hold on. Let me rotate. That way you can see it better. Because see, the problem is, luckily for me, I will officially cross 100 days with this. 100 days as your longest reigning, shortest reigning technical predictions champion. But the beauty of all of this is that hold on, let me remove this from the beauty of all this is I didn't just walk away with the technical predictions championship. I also walked away with the tag in the bank as well. So, Reign 13 is happening. The 13th reign will happen. I don't know when.
We're gonna find a way to not make that happen, man.
Oh no. This ain't gonna. I'm not Juggs. If I'm cashing in, it is going to be the most tactical ass cash in ever. It's gonna be such it's gonna just be like, whew. That's why I've been sending them shots that I've been sending to Juggs. Just like Naomi kept telling y'all, proceed with caution. That's why I'm telling Juggs. Because, like I said, it'll be myself, Lip Dizzle, running it back. This time we are going to technical predict the entire show. Not just championship matches. All matches, both nights. Because hopefully there should be no other wrestling happen that weekend.
Let's hope not.
And Leo is finally getting his shot.
He's finally getting it.
Shot against Juggs. And boy, oh boy, if that man wins that championship, the fact that he's been calling his shot for the longest is crazy. We will not hear the end of it. We will not hear the end of it. But go ahead and hit him with that sweet outro, Dizzle.
So yeah, after this long recap / review, we thank you for being here. But whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave all your comments, questions, concerns down below. Let us know what your favorite match was of the night. Let us know what your least favorite match of the weekend was. Make sure that you tag that subscribe button, tag that notification bell, tag that like button. I know I said that shit out of order, but it's fine. Make sure that
you know what he meant.
Yeah, you exactly knew what I meant. Make sure that you check in and every fucking video that we drop and check it out. Make sure that you engage, leave comments, leave your likes and all that other stuff down. So that way we can talk back with you and we can understand where you at, whether you agree with us, disagree with us, whatever the case may be. Make sure you go check out Juggs' channel. It's going to be at the end card. You can go ahead and link over there and subscribe and all that good stuff and check out what he has as well.
Same thing with Leo. Check out his channel.
Check out his channel as well. We're gonna hold. I know you don't see Scoot, but I know he warming it up for you.
Hold on. I'm gonna be right here.
Good. Bada 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 bam. Now, until you see these handsome faces and hear these immaculate voices, we bid you all adieu. And until next time, you beautiful, 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 beautiful mother effers. Tag the fucketh out.
Dollars make a way to make a change. Gotta be insane to make them same mistakes.